Welcome to our defense briefing show. Today we kick things off with a diplomatic twist. Keith Kellogg, Trump's Ukraine envoy, is set to leave his post as a new peace plan takes shape. This comes during intense negotiations involving concessions from Kyiv, and Kellogg's departure signals a shift in the U.S.'s approach to the Ukraine conflict. Next, in a move that's stirring debate, the U.S. Coast Guard is revising its policy on hate symbols, changing swastikas and nooses from hate incidents to potentially divisive, sparking criticism and discussions about tolerance and discipline. And finally, a historic find. Colombia has recovered priceless artifacts from the sunken Spanish warship San José, believed to contain billions in treasure. This discovery not only highlights Colombia's rich history, but also sparks a legal battle over the treasure's ownership. These stories show us the complex, fascinating world of international relations, military policies, and history. Please continue to stay tuned for the detailed coverage. The Associated Press reports on Keith Kellogg, a seasoned military veteran and former national security advisor, who is expected to leave his role as President Trump's Ukraine envoy in January amid a backdrop of diplomatic shifts. The White House is currently working on a new peace plan for Ukraine, reportedly coordinated by Steve Witkoff and Kirill Dmitriev, which involves significant concessions from Kyiv, including territorial cessions and disarmament. Kellogg's departure signals a potential change in U.S. diplomatic strategy, as his role, once prominent during Trump's administration, has diminished with the rise of Witkoff as the primary interlocutor with Russia. Kellogg's past controversies, including his involvement in listening to Trump's calls with Ukraine and his presence during the events leading up to January 6, 2021, highlight the complex and often contentious nature of his career in national security. Meanwhile, the Washington Post details a contentious policy shift within the U.S. Coast Guard, which plans to reframe its language regarding symbols like swastikas and nooses from widely identified with oppression or hatred to potentially divisive. This change, set to take effect on December 15th, has sparked criticism from Democratic senators who argue it undermines protections against hate and could inadvertently permit the display of hateful symbols, especially at a time of rising anti-Semitism. The Coast Guard's acting commandant, Admiral Kevin Lundy, insists that prohibitions remain in place and that any display or promotion of such symbols will be thoroughly investigated and punished. This policy update, aligning with broader military directives, reflects ongoing debates about free expression, hate symbols, and the importance of maintaining discipline and safety within the armed forces amid a climate of increasing social tensions. CNN reports on Colombia's historic recovery of artifacts from the sunken Spanish galleon, the San José, dubbed the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. The treasures, including gold and bronze coins, a porcelain cup, and a cannon, are believed to be worth billions and are central to a fierce legal dispute between Colombia and the U.S. Bass Salvage Company, Sea Search Armada. Colombia's government asserts that the shipwreck, discovered with scientific aid in 2015, is a vital part of its cultural heritage and offers insights into the early 18th century colonial economy and society. The salvaged items will undergo conservation and archaeological analysis, promising to deepen understanding of the ship's history and Colombia's maritime legacy. This discovery not only symbolizes national pride, but also underscores the ongoing struggle over ownership rights and the importance of protecting underwater cultural heritage. The South China Morning Post reports that the U.S. Senate is urging the Biden administration to expedite arms deliveries to Taiwan, emphasizing the importance of establishing a regional contingency stockpile to bolster the island's defenses. Despite recent approvals of weapon sales, such as aircraft parts, delays and unfulfilled authorities have caused concern in Taiwan and among allies that U.S. support may be waning amidst efforts to improve relations with Beijing. Witnesses at the hearing highlighted that these delays could embolden China's coercive tactics, emphasizing that Washington must implement the Taiwan Enhanced Resilience Act more fully by creating pre-approved capabilities lists, fully resourced assistance tools, and establishing forward-positioned stockpiles. They also recommended strengthening economic and diplomatic ties, including finalizing treaties and expanding the American Institute in Taiwan to send a clear signal of support and deter Chinese aggression, while warning that perceived U.S. hesitation could undermine Taiwan's resolve and regional stability. The BBC details President Donald Trump's inflammatory response to a video released by 6 Democratic lawmakers, all military or intelligence veterans, urging service members to refuse unlawful orders. Trump's condemned their actions as seditious behavior, punishable by death, posting on Truth Social that traitors should be arrested and tried, with calls for the death penalty. The lawmakers' video emphasized that soldiers could refuse illegal commands, framing their message as a defense of constitutional principles amid ongoing military operations and controversial strikes. Trump's harsh rhetoric has sparked widespread concern about escalating political violence and threats against public officials, with White House officials and congressional leaders condemning his language while vowing to protect lawmakers. The situation underscores the tense climate in the U.S., where political rhetoric and violence are increasingly intertwined, raising alarms about the stability of democratic institutions and the safety of elected representatives. CBC reports that Democratic veterans in Congress have warned about the dangers of following unlawful military orders, criticizing President Trump's reaction to their video. The lawmakers, including Senators Mark A. Kelly and Alyssa Slotkin and Representatives Jason Crow, Maggie Goodlander, Chrissy Holohan, and Chris DeLuzio, emphasized that service members can refuse illegal commands, an assertion that Trump responded to with calls for their arrest and even the death penalty, labeling their behavior as seditious. This controversy comes amid rising concerns over political violence, with recent violent incidents and threats against officials highlighting the volatile atmosphere. Experts and officials are concerned that Trump's rhetoric could inspire or justify insurrectionist acts, while some Republicans, like Senator Lindsey Graham, urge caution and call for specific identification of unlawful orders. The debate reflects broader tensions over military discipline, political extremism, and the potential consequences of incendiary language from national leaders, with international observers noting that such internal conflicts threaten the stability of democratic governance. From Yahoo US, the recent conflict in Gaza has taken a deadly turn, with the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) confirming the killing of Abdallah Abu Shamala, the Hamas Navy leader, and Fadi Abu Mustafa, a senior tunnel engineer, during targeted strikes. Abu Shamala was notorious for orchestrating attacks against Israeli maritime forces, and Abu Mustafa played a crucial role in building the extensive tunnel network in Khan Yunis, also allegedly involved in hostage-taking. The IDF's operations, driven by joint intelligence, aimed to dismantle Hamas's military infrastructure following violations of a fragile ceasefire, as Israeli troops continue to uncover and neutralize threats along the Yellow Line, including rocket launchers and weapons caches, signaling ongoing tensions and the relentless effort to weaken Hamas's capabilities amidst the chaos. South China Morning Post reports a legal showdown over the deployment of the National Guard in Washington, D.C., where a federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to cease its months-long military presence, citing violations of constitutional authority. The deployment, initiated under Trump's emergency declaration, involved thousands of troops and federal agents operating without local consent, stirring accusations of overreach and undermining local sovereignty. The judge's decision, though temporarily paused to allow appeals, underscores a critical debate about the balance of power between federal authority and local governance, with critics warning that such military occupations threaten democratic principles and civil liberties, especially as the city struggles with crime and unrest. The Sydney Morning Herald details a provocative and alarming episode involving President Donald Trump's inflammatory social media posts targeting Democratic lawmakers, whom he accused of sedition and threatened with execution. This rhetoric was sparked by a video featuring legislators urging military personnel to refuse illegal orders, which Trump labeled as traitorous and dangerous. His inflammatory remarks amplified fears of inciting violence, prompting congressional leaders to seek protection for the lawmakers and condemn the president's language. The episode highlights the deepening political divide and the dangerous rhetoric that can escalate tensions within the nation's military and political spheres, raising concerns about the potential for violence and the erosion of democratic norms. CNN reports that U.S. Representative Chris DeLuzio of Pennsylvania, along with other Democratic lawmakers with military backgrounds, face severe accusations from President Donald Trump, who labeled their recent call for service members to refuse unlawful orders as seditious behavior punishable by death. Trump's social media posts went as far as urging that these legislators be arrested and tried, even calling for them to be hanged, which sparked widespread outrage and condemnation from Democrats, including Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Senator John Fetterman, who denounced the rhetoric as dangerous and divisive. The controversy centered around a video where DeLuzio and others emphasized the importance of the military upholding the Constitution and refusing illegal commands, criticizing what they see as Trump's efforts to pit the military against American citizens amid concerns over potential deployment in cities and military actions abroad. While some Republicans defended Trump's stance by emphasizing the rule of law, others, including House Speaker Mike Johnson, called the video inappropriate. The Democrats responded with a firm stance, asserting that threats of violence are unacceptable and emphasizing the importance of defending constitutional principles, even as Trump's inflammatory remarks threatened to deepen political divisions and incite violence. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopsis thoughtfully curated by the 6DO team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6DO Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6DO team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6DO Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6DO Brief via email.
Morning sunlight on the street, city whispers soft and sweet, faces mix in daily grind, every story intertwined, cultures blend like colors bright, languages in the silent night, on the table stories told, food and feast upon so bold, people living day by day, in the heart they find their way, sharing moments, voices sing, in this world of everything. Society in rhythms shadows of wars and fears, laughing through our unseen tears. Children playing in the park, drawing dreams till after dark. Elders speak of days gone by, washing shadows from the sky. People living day by day, in the heart they find their way, sharing moments, voices sing, in this world of everything. Society and rhythms beat, entertainment's fleeting heat,